I tore something up, and it's my fault. I tell you what, guys, it is hard to believe this year is over. Man, time flies by. So welcome back to the Sawmill, friends. It is a cool December morning here in Northeast Tennessee, but I'm not complaining because it's been raining here for the past 3 days. It's been a muddy mess, I tell you what. We had a really dry fall, and late summer was really dry as well. And we're paying for it now. It's rained every day here lately. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. Seems like it's all it does, but that's part of it here in Tennessee. The summers are humid as crap. They're terrible. Fall is really nice, and winter doesn't get too cold. But man, when it rains, it just makes for a muddy mess. I call this mud season here at the farm. We'll be in this state till about March or April, to be honest with you, because it's just doesn't get real cold around here. We don't get a lot of snow. The ground never freezes. Therefore, when it rains, and it rains a lot in the winter, you got a muddy mess. Part of it, I guess. I'm not complaining. I'm just trying to explain to you guys the conditions here in Tennessee, because people ask me all the time what it's like to live and work here. In the summertime, it's humid. In the springtime, it's perfect. In fall, it's perfect. Wintertime, it's a muddy mess, but it doesn't get too cold. And that brings up this building as well, the new Sawmill building. People ask all the time, you don't have a lot of trusses, what's your snow load? We rarely get snow here. Very rarely. We may get 2 inches a year. Sometimes no snow at all. So that's why we got these metal trusses here spaced on 12-foot centers, because we don't get a lot of snow here. This is not an issue here with the snow load because we pretty much have no snow load. So anyways, we're here at the Sawmill building. We got a lot to get done today, guys. We're going to be doing some organization today. I want to take the sawmill and move it over about 8 feet from where it is, closer inside the building, for 2 reasons. Reason number one, it's kind of on the edge of the building, and when it rains, the rain kind of blows in here just a little. It's not bad. It doesn't get us wet or nothing like that, but it does get the engine kind of wet, and I like to keep that dry because I'm particular about my equipment. And the second reason, which is the most important one, I need to make way for the new sawdust collection system that Wood-Mizer is building for us right now that I ordered yesterday. So I've been kind of on the fence for the past few months on how I want to do dust collection down here, and I decided to do a conveyor. And I'll put a picture up here so you guys can see what it looks like from Wood-Mizer's website. This is a conveyor. The bottom is 30 feet long, and where it rises up on the end is 10 feet, and it runs off a 2 horsepower single phase motor. So therefore, I can run that off a generator or my little battery power packs until I get power down here, which is great. And it's not loud like a blower. But I'm really looking forward to this conveyor, guys, and the reason I went with the conveyor over a blower is, for one, the noise. A conveyor is kind of quiet, the blower is pretty loud, and also I want to keep the dust down here. So the sawmill building is right beside of a right-of-way right here that goes to my neighbor up on the hill, and he has company over. He drives on this road several times a day, and if I have a blower down here, dust is going to be flying everywhere the whole time I'm sawing. If I have a conveyor, not so messy. I can put it on the conveyor, run it out, let it empty into a hopper, and it's pretty clean like that. So that's another reason I went with that. More so the reason of the quiet. The blowers are so loud, and the sawmill's not that loud at all, actually, so that's the main reason probably. And the second reason is the mess. This is some good coffee right here. I can't remember what kind it is. I just bought it yesterday. All right, guys, so on the sawmill, we got some sycamore. I'm making this into firewood because it's got some really bad wind shake on it. So it's not good for nothing except for burning, to be honest with you. And I was working on that just a second ago with the old steel battery chainsaw, but the battery died. I should have charged it last night. I actually need to go ahead and buy a couple of these batteries. I use this saw all the time for convenience. You just pull the trigger when the battery's charged up and it works every time. Love this little saw right here. It works really good. But I need to go ahead and cut this up for firewood. That way we're finished with all this sycamore. And over here, friends, is a new addition to the sawmill, this roller table. I bought this off of Uline for about $200, I think, something like that. It's 5 feet long, about 2 foot wide. I got it set up on some sawhorses. Now I bought the braces that go under, or the ledge rather, but guess what? I bought the wrong size. They're too small. So I got it set up on these sawhorses, and it actually works pretty good. I got it running downhill. And the purpose for this roller table is, as slabs come off the sawmill, that's these pieces right here, friends, if you're not familiar with the bark on them, they'll land on this table. I'll pick up the back of them, I'll put them on the roller table and just let it slide off, and I'll have my pallet forks over here waiting on them. And that'll be a nice way to get rid of slabs and not have to pick them up and touch them a whole lot. I'm trying to be more efficient here at the sawmill. And this idea right here, friends, did not come from me. It came from the great Robert Milton. And if you're in the sawmill world and you don't know who Robert Milton is, you probably should. He has a YouTube channel called Hobby Hardwoods. He also runs a full-time sawmill down in Alabama at his farm. And he's a wealth of knowledge. He puts out great videos. I watch every one of them. And he's also a good friend of mine. And this is where this idea came from. This is how he has his sawmill set up down in Alabama. He has this roller table on the side for his slabs, and it works out perfect. I tested it out yesterday. Man, it's nice. It works really good. So if you're watching, Robert, you were right again. I know that's a shocker. So let's head up to the shop, friends, and grab a chainsaw that works. That one right there works just fine when the battery's powered up. Then we'll come down here and finish up this firewood, and we'll get the skid steer and move this sawmill over to this bay right here. That's going to give us a lot more room for the conveyor when it gets here. All right, guys, let's jump in the tractor and go grab a chainsaw. And also, I got something else to show you guys. I finally got my garage doors installed on the new shop. Let's go take a look. A muddy mess. There's mud everywhere, my goodness. So they put this one in last Friday, guys. It's a 12 by 12. It's insulated, has a belt-driven motor up there. And I tell you what, that is a quiet door right there. I'm used to the chain-driven doors, and man, they're loud. That belt one right there is super quiet, a really nice door. Like I was saying, it's insulated, there's no windows, it's a basic model, but to have this installed, and the trim and the openers and everything was about $3,500 for this one right here. Pretty expensive, but well worth it. And right here's the second door. This one is a manual door. It is insulated. I may get a motor later on for this one, I'm not sure. It depends on how much I use it. It's kind of an odd size. It's 11 by 10 and a half. And that's just how the measurements fell whenever they boxed this in when they built the barn. But this is a really nice door. The main reason for this one is for summertime, so when it's hot, I can have two doors open and kind of keep it cool in here, get a breeze coming through. And also, if the main bay is busy with the machine or something, I could always have access to the side of the building by opening up this door right here. And also, guys, since I finally have doors, I've started moving in some of my equipment. Right here's all my radios and my generators and stuff like that, and other miscellaneous tools. And over here on this wall, on this shelf, is all my chainsaws right there and all my chainsaws equipment. There's a lot of work left to be done up here, guys, but at least I can start moving stuff in here, not to worry about somebody coming up here and carrying it off. We're going to grab some fuel and some bar oil. I'm not sure how much gas is in that chainsaw. And I think today we'll run the 400C. I've not got to run this one yet. Dad ran it the other day, and he said it was a real nice saw. Man, my windshield's dirty. Look at that. Got stuff all over it. Do the cord here for the controller. And a little disclaimer here, the position of the saw head right now is not the transport position if he's going to move this sawmill down the highway. Since we're only moving it, 8 or 10 feet over, that's okay right there. If I was going to be moving it on a main road or something, I would put it in the lock position at the very end. Set this over here out of the way without tripping myself. Just about fell right there. Man, that'd be embarrassing. right, guys, I went ahead off camera and got this thing level, or pretty close to level. One day, I hope to pour concrete right here, but until then, I got to use these outriggers to get it pretty close to being level. These Wood-Mizer sawmills, you don't have to have them perfect, just kind of close. You can be off a little bit and they'll still saw nice and straight. I'm not sure if you guys noticed this or not, but while I was moving the 70 with Mr. Cotto, I tore something up, and it's my fault. So if you guys remember just a few minutes ago, I told you this was not the correct position of the sawmill head to move the sawmill around, and it came back to bite me. So when the sawmill was moving back and forth, it kind of hit against this loading arm right here. Nothing violent, just kind of rubbed up against it just a little. And when it done that, it pinched this hose right here. That goes to the lubrication system for the blade, and that's about 1/4 inch outside diameter. And it tore it in two pretty much. And the bad news is I don't have one of these on hand. I'm always preaching to you guys about keeping spare parts in stock, and this is something right here that I don't keep in stock, but that's going to change. I'll probably go out tomorrow to the hardware store and buy 100 foot of that stuff. I can't believe that happened, but it's my fault. I skipped a step, now I'm going to pay for it. And another added benefit, when I'm done sawing for the day, when I was over here, I took the control station and I moved it further over, so when it did rain, it didn't blow in and get this wet. Now, I don't have to move it anymore. I can leave it right here when I'm done and just make things a little bit more convenient. I'm pretty sure this is not going to be the most exciting video that I have ever made, but just trying to share more stuff with you guys, because every day here at the farm is not an action-packed day of sawmilling and tractor work. Sometimes things like this have to be done, and it's not too exciting, but you always learn something, like don't never move the sawmill when it's not in the correct position, because you will pinch a hose and you have to get another one. All right, friends, so right there's the new setup. Looks pretty good. Gets me out of the weather a little bit more, and also gives me more room here at the front to stack lumber off the sawmill. Good deal. So tomorrow, guys, we're gonna move the edger and try out this new configuration. Appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you on the next one.